Welcome to this sixth video in the series about Elastic Services e-commerce accelerator called PRISM. PRISM stands for Policy, Rules, and Intent Synthesis Middleware. In this video, you'll learn how PRISM brand boosting allows retailers to promote their preferred brands, and you'll also see a demo of preferred product boosting. After that, I'll show how easy it is to add seasonal rules to boost up those special Christmas chocolates during the holiday season. Finally, I'll briefly show two related blogs that you can consult for more details on how this is implemented. So the first thing I want to show is brand boosting. If somebody searches for chocolate spread, let me just go over to the results page. You can see in this circled name, Nutella, Brinkers, that's the brand, Morrison's. Now, if we wanted to, for example, boost up all Morrison's branded chocolate spreads when someone searches for chocolate spread, well, we can create a rule for that. So let's call it chocolate spread boost Morrison's. And so we're going to say if somebody types in a query chocolate spread, and we'll use a query stemmed, meaning it could be chocolates spread or chocolate spreads, plural, then we're going to boost up the products where the brand is equal to Morrison's. And I'm going to set that to a soft boost. I don't want this to be a hard filter, meaning I don't want to show only Morrison's branded chocolate spreads. I just want them to rise up to the top of the results. Now, when we go back and we execute that search for chocolate spread, we can see Morrison's, Morrison's, Morrison's. So Morrison's chocolate spread has been boosted. What does that look like? Well, if we look into the policies and we see how it's impacting the score, again, we set, if we look at that policy, we said this action will, if the brand is equal to Morrison's, add a soft boost of 1. So what does that look like in the calculation? Well, we have the BM25 score times 1 plus the soft boost of 1. Again, if there was no soft boost, it would just be times 1. So it's effectively no impact. But we want it to move up the Morrison's. So there's a soft boost of 1. We can see down here. We also just saw it in the policy itself. So there's been a soft boost of 1 applied because the brand Morrison's matches this brand that's specified in the rules. And then it's also multiplied by 1 plus the margin boost plus the popularity boost. We're not talking about that in detail or in this video at all, but it will come up in a future video. Next, I wanted to show how to boost up a single product. For example, if somebody searches for tortilla chips, I've already set a policy there. Tortilla chips boost. Let me just show you what that looks like. I'm going to turn it off. And the first hit is Old El Paso. The next one is tortilla, et cetera, et cetera. This one, this is the one that I've actually boosted up. And the way that I did that was I copied this SKU, just something that's unique. It could be, if it has a unique name, you could use that just as easily. The policy doesn't really care. And I'm going to go back here. I'm going to enable this policy. First, I'll show what it is. So this is a policy that says, tortilla chips is just a name, boost up that SKU. Could be whatever you want it to be. If somebody has searched for tortilla chips, then we're going to create a rule that says, hey, the ID, where the ID equals this, and that's the actual SKU, let's create a soft boost in all of the strict, relaxed, and semantic tiers. So I'm going to enable that again. And that particular SKU, the one that was in that rule, is this. So this particular tortilla chips has been boosted up to the top. Notice that it says sponsored. That is not obligatory. You can enable or disable. So if I turn off the sponsored toggle, it will not show that in the results. If we go back and look for tortilla chips, now it just looks like it naturally floated up to the top without being sponsored. That would be up to the merchandiser to decide how they want that to work. Next, I want to show a search for chocolate. Again, I don't have a rule specified, so you might start seeing things like chocolate muffin, chocolate dough, etc. Well, if we enable, we have already defined a rule, chocolate. if I show you what that looks like, we're saying if somebody searches for chocolate, well, let's show them milk chocolates and dark chocolates, or let's at least give a preference so that those come to the top, because that's what people usually mean when they're looking for chocolate. They didn't mean they're looking for a chocolate muffin usually. So the way that we do that is we specify a soft boost. Um, Again, these values could be whatever we want them to be. That just determines how much it's going to impact the score. So when I turn on that rule that I was just showing, if we go back and search for chocolate, now you can see chocolate bars, dark chocolate, etc. How is that calculated? Well, if we look at the policy, we hit the chocolate policy. If the given product is in the milk chocolate or dark chocolate categories, which you can see dark chocolate here, so it's in that category. So it gets this boost of 1. If you look at the score, it's the BM25 times 1 plus the soft boost, this 1. So this is effectively boosting up those chocolates. What would happen if we are in the holiday season? Well, here's a rule. It says chocolates, Christmas products. So we're boosting up chocolates that have the category Christmas foods and drinks, Christmas sweets, and advent calendars. And that's a soft boost. So if a product is in any of these categories, let's boost it up. And I'm not going to go into conflicts in detail, but there's also conflict handling that specifies what are the actions that we should take if somebody searches for chocolate. And this rule is triggered as well as the rule that we just looked at. So let's enable this Christmas chocolates. Somebody searches for chocolate, and now they're being shown advent calendars. Advent calendars, great, that's perfect. Those are in the categories that we specified. It's in the advent calendar, Christmas food and drinks, etc. Now notice if we look at the policies, you'll see it was given a boost of 2. You can see it up here in the score. So it's the base multiplier times 1 plus 2, which is the soft boost that we specified in this rule. But notice that this one is grayed out. So this rule was triggered, but it didn't have any impact on this particular product because this product is not in milk chocolate or dark chocolate categories. Now, if we scroll down a little bit and we look at this chocolate, we will see that this one got its boost, the milk chocolate, dark chocolate boost from this policy called chocolate. It didn't get a boost from the Christmas products because it is not in the Christmas food and drink or Christmas sweet or advent calendar categories. Also notice that this policy chocolate Christmas boost has a rule, or it has an action in it that says price must be less than 7. So let me show you that. So we're saying in addition to these boosts on these categories for food and Christmas food and drink, Christmas sweets, advent calendars, there's also the Christmas policy has also specified a price filter. It says during Christmas time, let's only show the chocolates that are less than 7. And that's a hard filter. So in the strict mode, we're only showing the products that are less than 7. In the relaxed and semantic mode, which I discussed in a previous video, that would be a soft boost. Again, this would be up to the merchandiser to define how they want that to behave. So you can see that these are both being applied intelligently. There is, in fact, a conflict because they're both trying to apply categories to the results. They've both been, in this case, downgraded to soft boosts. Again, I'll come back to that in a future video. And so if you want more information on this, all of this is based on multiplicative boosting in Elasticsearch, which is leveraging Elastic's built-in function score queries. There is also a blog on this, building a control plane, and I go into details, or we go into the details on the Christmas boosting example that I just described. And finally, on my website, alexmarquardt.com, there's the entire series of e-commerce videos that this is part of. And there are also many articles about search and relevance. So thanks for watching.